Welcome to the Tom Bernard Podcast with the Family with
co-host Catherine Brandt.
Andy Brent Bernard.
And Kristen Burt.
And maybe Alex.
Maybe.
And
All right.
perhaps.
That
Well,
was
she had a big
impression.
weekend. Fawn had her dance recital over the
God.
weekend.
Well, that's a big weekend.
Yeah, and we went to the 5 o'clock show, which was 3 hours.
Supposed to be the short one. It was 3 hours.
It was 3 hours.
What is the long show for?
Well, I don't know. I have no idea because this one had the first graduating class of seniors for the studio. And there were, 6 or 7 of them?
Yeah.
And
about that.
they all had to have multiple homages to them.
Yes.
Multiple.
That's always fun.
My dance journey began when I was,
Yeah.
Save that for the last one.
It was so long. Maybe it was the last one, but Alex said that this was going to be the short one. I mean, the dances were all great, and the
it
senior
was, yeah, it was
dancers
nice.
were very, very talented girls. I'm not taking anything away from them, but there was a lot of going on and on and on, and a nice hard edit would have been pleasant.
Now, was Fawn in the entire show, or were you able to leave at intermission?
No, she was in 2 in Act 1 and 3 in 3 or 4, maybe
3 or
in
4,
Act
yeah.
4. So she was sprinkled in there all over the place.
Yeah.
I don't know if she got this ability, but she was doing, backward flips, forward flips.
Oh, she's a talented
Acro.
little, she's
Unbelievable.
a talented little thing.
Ladies and gentlemen, Kristen Burt, Entertainment News brought to you by North American Banking Company. Go to nabanco.com to learn more. Member FDIC Equal Housing Lender. I should mention that the guy sitting in front of me at the theater and the woman sitting next to me on the right at the theater were both former KQ Morning Show listeners. And they both said, God, I wish you hadn't retired. Because Cumulus lied and said I retired. Many people just went on. They don't even bother to look for me because they thought I retired.
I think now you need to carry around like little business cards
Yep.
with a
I
QR
should.
code, and you hand it to them.
Honestly,
and
yeah.
go,
You should make business cards, hand them out, get them.
How do you do? Once you got, I'll hand it over to one of you guys.
Oh, will you now?
That's
Yes.
pretty easy to do, actually.
Well, I'm the sales director. That takes all the hard work.
Oh,
course.
my God, you're just slaving.
I
You need
am
to keep them in your
slaving.
wallet. Then you need to keep them in your wallet. Because what if Catherine's not with you? Andy's not with you all the time?
That's what I'm saying. They should get them printed up and they'll put them in my wallet.
Should. Somebody ought to do something.
Yes,
Sounds like
exactly.
our mayor.
That's exactly
What you
right.
should do is you should get a coat that has QR codes all over it. So anytime anyone takes a picture of you,
I like
it
it.
sends them to your
Oh,
site.
I like it.
It's probably illegal, but
Now, as we move on through life, ladies, I did notice something. I posted about it on X. Weekends are great. There's no question. We love weekends. Friday night, basically Saturday, Sunday. It's wonderful. Have you noticed how pissed off people are on social media on Monday mornings?
Well, the rage engage has to happen on Monday.
Honest to God.
well, Monday is also when the sock puppets and super packs go back to work. So
That's what I'm saying.
It's called Sunday Scaries.
Sunday
Scaries.
scaries?
You have the Sunday Scaries because you know the next day you have to go back to work.
This morning, X was just filled with hatred. It was, not just dislike, flat out hatred.
I think it's these people's jobs. I think they're literally paid to do it. That's
100%.
Monday, work hours start. You start getting these posts over the weekend. They go away.
Yeah, there's this one
Makes
guy
you
that
think.
posts about how horrible boomers are. And
Yes,
today
yep.
his post was the housing market wouldn't be nearly as expensive and we wouldn't have a housing shortage if boomers wouldn't stay in their houses for 20 plus years.
Yeah, Kristen.
20.
That's
20 years
called
is
rage bait.
Yeah, exactly. Or that's the other thing.
Yeah.
It's engagement bait.
Exactly. And they make
Yep.
a lot of money and people
Yes, they do.
respond, as we've talked about
Yeah.
many, many times, to rage engage much more than they do
Yep.
something pleasant.
That's why I moved over to Threads. There's less. It's more discussion of like,
Yeah.
what's your favorite
Yep.
like Chinese food restaurant in this city? And
Love
then
it.
people just kind of go, it's a little bit more collaborative. And I was like, I'm done with the rage bait. My
Yeah.
emotional
it's
health does not need the rage bait.
One of the things that I see, the types of bait that's especially prevalent on things like Instagram and TikTok is someone will have like a DIY hack or whatever,
Yeah.
and they'll do it badly intentionally, so people correct them in the comments. The people commenting increases the engagement, which increases how many people see it,
Oh, true.
and it creates a feedback loop,
Yep.
and they end up getting like 50 million views.
Yeah, this morning in my ex feed right away. It was Cardi B posting with her ass hanging out on a yacht.
There you
Well,
go.
that's
And I
of
was
course
like, well,
standard fare.
everybody's like, why am I getting this? Everybody was commenting, why am I getting this? It's like because she paid
Yep.
so for it to pop up
'Cause
on
it's an ad,
everybody's- yeah,
basically.
it is. And it was really hard to mute her or block her.
Yeah.
I had to like dig around for it. It was in a different place than it usually
Mm-hmm.
is.
By the way, Kristen, we also need to thank the people of Canada for shutting off the smoke machine.
Oh God,
Very
it was
nice.
it is a little better today. Yesterday it was so thick that
It
the
was
sun was just an
unbelievable.
orange ball in the sky.
It
Yeah.
was. It was an orange
Yes,
ball.
we are very used to that, unfortunately, in Los Angeles.
Oh, are
I
you
can
really?
speak- Well, we have fire season.
Yep.
Oh,
so,
that's right.
yeah.
That's true.
We
Yeah,
had the
and we
Canadian
kicked up
fires.
the year.
When was it? Like 5 years ago? The really bad
A
ones.
few years ago, yeah, it was so bad you really couldn't even be outside in
Yeah.
the summer without your eyes stinging.
Yeah,
and
so
your
here it's
throat
only
burning.
it's only like every 5 or so years this happens, and it's very transient. It happens for like a week tops.
I don't know.
but-
yeah,
Yeah.
one summer. it
But you
was
shouldn't
all
be
summer.
outside working out. Honestly, you
No,
should be wearing a
right,
mask in that
right.
type of weather because it's so bad.
It is
For your
It's
lungs.
Really bad.
It's
You are
yeah.
correct.
The carcinogens are terrible in the air.
yeah.
No doubt about it. So yeah, it was. We had a great weekend, though. We were very busy this
We were
weekend.
very busy. It was very nice. Some of our friends moved out of Minnesota forever. Well, wait,
Oh,
the
yeah?
moving truck comes down. Well, Ralph Basham, who used
Oh,
to,
yeah.
who was always
He
on
was
the
always
show
on
for
this show, yeah.
many years. He's out of Minnesota.
Yep.
Where is he going?
They're going to Vegas somewhere.
Somewhere around Vegas.
They're going for
Summerlin?
warmer weather.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Isn't it Summerlin? I think that's the name of the town, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Summerlin's just outside of Las Vegas.
Right.
A very
Yeah.
nice community.
It is nice. Yeah, it's very
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah, and it's sort of in between their two kids. Josh
They have
lives
kids in
Oh, yeah.
California, correct?
One lives in Malibu and the other one lives in Denver. So it's
Yep.
Right. I saw Ralph and Lindsay. Now we're going back 3 years, maybe. They were visiting over the holidays, and we met up for coffee.
Oh, did you?
That's nice.
Yeah, we had a
Nice.
really good time.
That's nice.
I think Ralph is looking to get away, but I don't think Lindsay wants to go as much as he does.
Well,
No.
Lindsay hated the packing process, and she also, I mean, they've been in that house for a very long time.
That's true.
So,
Yeah, that's one of those things. It's like, even if you need to move, like getting rid of a place that you've lived in for 20, 30 years is
there's
always
an
going to be
emotional
tough.
attachment for sure.
Decontenting is tough. I
Yeah.
like to decontent my house all the time. My husband does not. Bill likes to collect.
I used to be that
I'm
way,
like,
but now, yeah, I've gotten rid of basically all my old stuff except for like things that actually matter. I have like one plastic tote full of like memorabilia.
Yeah, and you live in
everything
a
else
condo,
is-
right, Kristen?
I do, but
Yeah.
I live. It's pretty big.
Yeah,
We've
but
got
you
lots
still,
of space.
but you fill it up. The more space you have, the more
We
stuff
have
you
a
keep.
fairly large house, and it's cramped. I mean, if we didn't have kids, it wouldn't be crammed full of crap.
Yeah.
To be honest, I mean, the downstairs like playroom, that entire room is basically just Ethan's stuff.
Yeah.
And the sunroom is basically an Ethan Colin playroom, and
If
there's-
Bill didn't live with me, my house wouldn't be filled with stuff.
Well,
Yeah.
there you go. Yeah.
Oh, when I lived by myself, my house was largely empty.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah,
I just
Melissa
don't
likes-
have things.
Stuff more than you do.
Yeah, I don't really. I don't know.
Kids also.
And
really,
kids do.
Kids,
God, yeah.
it's mostly the kids.
Yeah, they don't want to get rid of their
Melissa
stuff.
doesn't actually really have that much stuff either.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, tell us about your Netflix deal.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah. So
What?
Netflix. That's why I
Here
wasn't
we
here on
go.
Friday. Netflix every year does a fan/business event called Tudum, based off of. I thought it was Tudum,
Tudum.
but they call it Tudum.
Yeah,
Like
which
Tudum.
it sounds like you're going to your doom to me. So I don't know.
Yeah, and when I hear that sound when you turn on Netflix, it sounds like Tudum.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It
it sounds
is
like
to know.
dun.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
apparently, in learning this, Tudum translates internationally where Tudum doesn't. Just more as a more recognizable sound.
Well, yeah, the
So-
ooh sound, the sound is actually fairly uncommon.
Oh.
Yeah.
So,
And a lot of that, I think it was like Latin American countries. Tudum
Yeah.
just makes more sense. So that's what I learned over the 3-day weekend. But they had events all over the city. I went to events at the Academy Museum, which anyone who is visiting California, please go and visit the Academy Museum.
Oh, yeah.
If you're a movie buff, it is not only architecturally designed really well, it's gorgeous. There's like a rooftop bar that overlooks the city. It's just stunning. but they took over the old May Company department store and kept the actual architectural integrity.
Oh, nice.
Which is so nice.
Yeah.
And, they don't do that in Los Angeles very often. So the
No.
fact that they did it, and it's along our Miracle Mile, along Museum Mile. So if anyone's planning a trip to Los Angeles this summer, make it one of your priorities because it's incredible.
All right, Kristen Burt, you're going to have to pay for this because you are part of entertainment.
Okay.
Catherine and I in Florida watched some Twins baseball. It was wonderful, beautiful. We get back to Minnesota, where the Minnesota Twins are based. I've had to pay for MLB, Fox, and Apple TV, so I make sure I can watch all the games.
Yeah, apparently, if you want to
3
watch
different
baseball
sites.
on Sunday, it's a different app.
What?
If you want to have baseball Friday
Yeah.
nights, it's a different app.
Wow.
No, Saturday nights.
Saturday.
And
That
that's
is-
how it's going to get. I mean, with all of it,
Yep.
they realize that there's a lot of money to be made if they split up
Yep.
all of the games. And this
Yep.
is not just baseball, it's football, it's basketball.
Yeah, that's what a lot of people commented, that even like NASCAR is the same way, that all of them.
Isn't
make-
that just going to kill sports? I mean,
Yeah.
who's,
Well,
that's what a
who's
lot
going
of
to pay
people-
$500 a month for all
know.
these streaming services?
People do say that's why I just don't watch sports anymore.
Yeah, it's not worth the money to try to watch. I mean, like when it was on one channel, it makes sense. You go to that channel, you're paying for cable already. But I mean, you must literally be paying $200 a month just for baseball at this point.
Well, MLB is actually fairly cheap. It's about $100 a year, which if you
Yeah.
divide that up with so many baseball games,
That's true.
it depends on how much baseball you actually watch. Like if you just want to watch an occasional, playoff game, or if they make it somewhere, or they're versus a team that you really, want to
Right,
see them
right.
lose to or something, then it doesn't make any sense at all. But if you watch a lot of baseball or a lot of sports, I guess if that's your primary entertainment, then it's
And that
starting
is
to make sense.
I will tell you, sports is doing better than anything
It
else.
really
That's
is,
why all
yeah.
the networks are investing in live sports at this point.
Yep.
Netflix being one of them. And, with Tudum, like that was a lot of what they were talking about. They're talking about their shows, they're talking about their sports and everything that comes in. The big fan event was on Saturday night at the Forum. I mean,
Wow.
they rented out some really expensive places. I mean, they utilize their Egyptian theater, which they own on Hollywood Boulevard. They have Netflix on Vine, which is another theater. But the big night was hosting about 100,000 fans at the Forum.
Oh, wow.
And just, talking about what's coming up, especially this summer. Squid Game's third season.
Oh, jeez.
For anyone looking for that, June 27th is the final season for that. And
yeah. I watched
Yeah,
one
I-
season. I'm not going to watch anymore.
you're not going back in.
I've never watched it, and
know.
I've always
It
just
was
been
kind of like,
no.
it was sort of weird at first.
What are we talking about?
Squid
Squid
Games.
Oh, I
Game.
never watched it actually.
Me neither.
It's
Yeah.
actually good.
I feel like
It
I would
is. It's not as
probably.
good.
Well, I don't. How much like drama is there, like interpersonal drama? Because that's like meh.
It's a game. So
Yeah, I know
within
the
a
basic
scripted
idea
show.
is they're like everyone's gonna die except for one person who gets all the money or something to that
Yeah.
effect.
Yeah, there's stakes there, and I think that they also made a real life game show, so I think like it doesn't make it as suspenseful for season 2, but I would say season 1 is worth watching.
Yeah.
But I will say that the story is wrapping up with season 3, so
Oh.
June 27th that premieres for everyone that's looking for that. There's a new red light green light game too with the creepy doll.
So
Um,
is all 3 seasons the same group of people playing the same games?
No, they're all dead.
No, the main character.
Well,
I don't
yeah,
want
I
to spoil
suppose.
too much, but one particular character continues throughout. Let's just put it
Oh.
Oh, so it's like a Hunger Games kind of situation.
yeah,
Little bit,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. 4,
Oh, by
5,
the way,
6.
I'm going
So-
to mention very quickly because I'm being asked on social media. So if I pay for all those, for Fox and for Apple TV and for MLB, the great news, there aren't any commercials. Oh, yes, there are. There are more commercials now than there have ever been. So you have to pay for 3 different services and you have to watch all the commercials.
Yeah, we got home. We got
What?
home. The game was half over. What was it? Friday night or Saturday night?
Saturday
or something? Okay. Yeah. So we got home after we had dinner with Ralph and Lindsay. As a matter of fact, our final dinner. Anyway, and so we went to the MLB app, and I don't think we could go there. So we had to go to the Fox thing. But we had a little bit of a. What they do is they let you watch it, and then they cut you off, like. an hour before the end of the game or
Yeah,
something like
yeah.
that. They'll let you watch it for a little bit. But then we watched the highlights, which showed all the people scoring, so you knew what was going on. And then they let us watch a little bit more of the game, and then they cut us off again.
Yeah.
It was just like, what is
That's
this
annoying.
vicious game? This is so stupid.
Yeah.
And
It
why
is
can't you
pretty
just pay
amazing.
a la carte then? Because, I mean, if we're not going to watch every game on
Because
Saturday
then
night,
you're not
obviously.
paying as much.
Yep.
Just let us. Well, they'd make more money if they did a la carte.
Like buying episodes of a show on Amazon or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly, yeah. Charge like $1 to watch one game or something like that.
Yeah. Or even $5. I mean, you'd pay a lot more than that to go to a game.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true. I mean, that's probably would be the best solution. Everyone in the chat's just talking about how they gave up and they just pirate the games now.
How do they pirate them?
There's ways. I'm not
Really?
going to go into them.
Oh,
Not on the
get
air. You
arrested.
shouldn't talk about it. but
And
yes,
also,
there's
I
many ways
don't,
to do it.
I think it would be more difficult for you to do that than basically any other solution.
But I don't understand. In Florida, we get every game, but if you're the hometown person, you
Yes.
got to pay for all of
They
them.
punish you for being a hometown
Yeah.
fan.
Yes, exactly.
It's
Yep.
crazy.
It's because they know that's where it's a captive audience. They'll do whatever they can to get these games, which means
true.
paying ludicrous fees.
It's really
We'll
weird.
take a break. Be right
Yep.
back in 2 minutes because I'm sure Kristen has a lot to talk about in the entertainment world.
Tudum.
Tudum. We'll be right back right after this. From Bradshaw and Bryant, Michael Bryant. What's up, Pally?
Oh, not much. Doing my usual thing of telling people they shouldn't be texting and driving. In Minnesota, you can't have your phone in your hands. You can use, hands-free, but you can't have your phone in your hands for whatever reason. And that's why they made the law the way they did, so that police officers could see a phone in your hand and you got no excuse for why you got it there.
Do people know that that's the law?
I hope so. I mean, they used to follow it, and then kind of COVID kind of made people forget. And now it's like a freewheeling world out there with cell phones.
Let's say you get pulled over because you do have a phone in your hand and you're not watching where you're going. You got to be in pretty big trouble then, I would guess.
Well, the first one's not as bad. It's the multiple ones, the problem. And once people start stacking them up, then they have a big problem. And then what we're doing in car accidents is we've started bringing motions for punitive damages, because I'm trying to use the civil law any way we can to stop this, because it needs to stop.
Whenever I'd had any problems in my life, who was that I called again? It was like an MB, something like that.
Bradshaw and Bryant.
Let's talk about my bank, North American Banking Company. Look, it's easy to feel like just another account number at the big national banks, but that's not how it works with my friends at North American Banking Company. Whether you're visiting their locations in Roseville, 50th in France, Hastings, Woodbury, Shoreview, or Maple Grove, you'll always find real people who know you by name and actually care about your finances, not some AI chatbot. They also offer all the modern conveniences you expect, like online and mobile banking, but with a personal touch that only a community bank can offer. So why settle for less when you can bank with my friends at North American Banking Company? Visit nabanco.com to learn more. Member FDIC, equal housing lender. Ladies and gentlemen, Kristen Bird Entertainment News brought to you by North American Banking Company. Go to nabanco.com to learn more. Member FDIC, equal housing lender. So, Kristen, entertainment world.
Oh, I want to know did you get a ton of swag?
Ooh.
Usually I get a ton of swag, and I am swagged out right now to my house. So I did
Swagged
not.
out.
We are swagged out. They were handing out things like T-shirts and bags and things like that, and I just
Things you already have
Boring.
1,000 of.
Well, yeah, I try and decontent. I go on my Buy Nothing neighborhood Facebook page, and you just
Yeah.
I always post things, and I'm like, who wants it? And people will come over and pick it up.
Yep.
And you're like,
That is
We
nice.
give away so much stuff.
yeah.
When we moved,
And if
I
it
did
gets a
that.
second life, I think that's great instead of just wasting it.
Well, yeah, don't
and-
just throw it away.
Yeah, especially when it's like a new T-shirt. If someone's a fan of a TV show, because I get a lot of like branded swag. So
Oh,
you
yeah.
know, I'll always like post something like, anyone a fan of like Mad Men or like whatever show it is that they're handing out something for. So
You don't want to run around with a Netflix T-shirt in a bag?
no, I don't. We can't keep up, because in California we don't get plastic bags. You have to bring your grocery bags.
All right,
And
yeah.
we have a rule that like if we get a new swag bag, one has to go out and another goes in. And we can use it to like give away stuff, or if it's really bad, we just recycle them. But I know I have an event this week and I'm going to get a huge swag bag, and that's why I was like, I don't need this little little tchotchke
Yeah.
stuff that Netflix was handing out. And also, I'm still trying to figure out what to do with all of my QVC stuff because they gave me three huge gift bags when I did that event a couple of weeks ago.
Oh, I
So-
remember you talking about that. That was amazing. How much
I
stuff
know.
you
I haven't
brought.
even opened my Dyson Airwrap, so I still have to
Oh,
work on that.
jeez.
I know.
Yep. Using a Dyson Airwrap is a whole process.
It is
That's
it is a
what Catherine
process.
was saying, and I'm like, I have not tried it yet. I need some time to experiment with my hair.
I don't understand the fascination.
I don't know, but it's an expensive tool, so I'm going to try it.
Yeah,
If
for
not,
sure.
Might as well.
Some people love
They have
it.
them at
They absolutely love
Costco
it.
right
Yeah.
now for $100 off the regular price.
I got the Shark version, and it does the same thing because I've used your Airwrap before.
Yeah, Melissa has something that looks very similar.
Yeah, there's a
And-
lot of
but
good
it's not the
dryers.
Dyson one.
There's a lot of great dryers out there now.
Yes.
I have a good hair dryer that I love that someone gave me as a free sample from TikTok. So,
Oh,
Hmm.
and it's not that expensive. I think it's like a $50 one, and it works great.
well, there you
But
go.
I have it. I know. You don't need to buy the $400 one.
No, you do not.
I've had the same hair dryer for probably, I'm not kidding, 20 years.
Yep.
Wow.
When I had a Conair that lasted about 20 years. When it died, I was like, "Oh my gosh, you died! Like, how
Yeah.
did you die? You've been
Oh, yeah.
here.
There you
I've
go.
taken you all over the world.
Yeah.
What's going on?"
I have a Conair straightener. My straightener in Florida is I've had forever.
Yeah.
And it's still rocking and rolling.
Yep, they
Yep.
do that.
Conair makes a good product.
Sure do.
I don't know.
All right, so Squid Games is coming back.
Squid
Squid Games is
Game.
coming back.
Good
Stranger
Game,
Things,
whatever.
the final part of the season.
Oh, boy.
Season 5. So they finally announced it, and they are dragging it out like they love to do on Netflix. This has been their new strategy. You'll get 4 episodes on November 26th, which I believe is Thanksgiving. 3 episodes are coming on Christmas. And then the series finale will be shown on New Year's Eve. So just bookmark the 3 holidays at the end of the year for Stranger Things.
Are they going to do this again for the fall lineup, or did they
No,
just do
they
this?
only do Tudum. I can't.
To do.
Once a
Yeah.
year.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. They do it just for once over the summer. It's also when they kind of like tie it into their own version of upfronts because they brought in advertisers from all over the globe and wined and dined them at the same time Tudum was going on. So they got some of the fancier events like the Academy Museum and things like that. So
Oh, okay.
yeah. Because originally, if everyone remembers, Netflix had no ads, but now they have lots of ads and
Oh,
we need
yeah.
lots of advertising dollars. So they did not spare any expense for them. Wednesday, season 2 is coming, which was such a massive hit.
Yay!
I
We watched
know,
that
super
one.
exciting. The first 6 minutes are available online if people want to go and look
First
for it.
6 minutes.
You can't
Yes,
watch
just
that.
as a tease. But August 6th, you'll see part 1. Part 2 is coming September 3rd. And lots of guest stars. Stephen Buscemi's going to be in it this season. Christopher Lloyd, Haley Joel Osment, and Lady Gaga is coming in part 2. So she also performed at the Tudum Fan Fest on Saturday.
Wait, she's pronouncing it Gaga now?
No, that's a joke.
Oh, okay.
No, that's a joke.
Yeah, but it's close enough to reality that there's no way
No,
to
she's
tell.
Lady Gaga.
Yes, I've
but
rebranded myself.
like if you, pop culture, people go Lady Gaga.
Ah.
That's the joke. But anyway, she's going to play Rosalind Rotwood, a legendary Nevermore teacher who crosses paths with Wednesday.
Oh.
So it should be really fun.
I'm excited.
And then the other big news that came out of it, because he is a cash cow for Netflix, Adam Sandler's Happy Gilmore 2 is going to premiere on July 25th. And I'm sure it's going to be massive for them. It looks like, honestly, it looks like the perfect summer movie that you used to go to the movie theater to go
Yeah.
see.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
It'll be on Netflix.
Oh, they teased that on Full Swing, didn't they?
Yeah. they
Yes.
did. Yep.
Perfect audience for it, too.
Yeah.
They did it.
Yeah.
Oh, I got to mention one thing. Fawn, what time do you have to be back at the auditorium for 24 hours of dance?
Oh my gosh. It
It was long.
was very long. Hey, you only went to one show. I was there
How
for
many shows were
I
there,
was
Alex?
2. I was there for 8.5 hours.
My God.
So
And it was only on one day.
Yes.
How long was the first one?
Just like 2 hours and 15 minutes, I think.
Well, this one was 3 hours, wasn't it?
It was 2
Second.
hours and 45 minutes.
Oh, well.
Well,
I thought you said we were going to the short one, you liar.
It had less dances. I didn't know there was going to be so many
homage to the
videos and
seniors.
audio, and I didn't know.
Oh,
One thing
They
I need
are,
to
the
add.
studio is probably at the point where they need a third show because my
Right.
studio growing up got to a point we had to do like 4 shows.
No,
it was too much.
the problem was the videos.
the videos.
I
Yes.
like
on
we had 3
on.
shows last. We've had 3 shows. This is the first year that we've moved down to 2 because we just didn't need as many shows. Like we were like we can consolidate this into 2. And the first video was like the studio owner welcoming, and then she had all of every single graduating senior, which there are 6 of them, answering questions. And one of the kids in particular would just ramble and ramble and ramble. Like she
God,
didn't
yes.
give them like you each have a minute. Like, what's your favorite style of dance? Answer it in a minute. How are you going to keep dancing your life? Answer in a minute. Like that kind of thing. Like what I think there were a couple videos that were over 10 minutes long.
Yes, there were over 10 minutes
Oh,
of commenting.
I know when they
There
start,
is editing for that.
Yes.
There is editing.
when they dragged out the chair, and then they did bloopers.
The bloopers was really quick.
They
and that
should have
was at
just
the
not
end.
done the bloopers.
Well, they needed
Everybody-
it. They needed it to change for the finale.
Oh,
That's one that they actually needed.
everybody had senior fatigue by the end.
Yeah, and then
of it.
every single senior did their solo. And before their solo, they sat in a chair on
on stage.
and then they had audio of all of the teachers talking about
How
that
wonderful they were.
senior.
Yeah.
That can be done at a banquet or something,
Which-
or a studio party. I think
It was
that is fair. And then they should do their solo because I think
Yes,
that's the
yeah.
last time they perform. But maybe all the video stuff and the tributes. That's a dance party. If you want to make it fancy, you go to a restaurant. But
I
if
know.
not, you
Agree.
We went to Fawn and I went to the after
then-
recital party, and yeah, every single parent was like, "Next year we're gonna talk to her and be like, listen," because because most years there's 1 or 2 seniors, so it doesn't add as much time. But since there were 6 of them, it was like, holy
it went
moly.
on and on.
And I do have to make a public statement. The Fawny back flips, forward flips, and cartwheeling, she didn't
acro.
She didn't get them from Bop Bop. I'll tell you that.
No.
Yeah. She got them from her teacher. Well, her teacher did teach them to her. That's for
Yeah.
sure.
That's what we used to do when we were kids all
Bless
summer long.
Christina.
We used to go in the backyard and do flips and cartwheels
For
and
hours and
round offs as we
hours.
did for hours. Yes, all the girls. would
Fawny
just
is
run around
quite
doing that.
pliable, I will tell you that. Oh, here she's going to do one right now.
She's
There you
gonna
go.
do one.
And she gets lifted a bunch, and she
Yeah, she does.
I know she's.
Yeah.
She does indeed.
She's the tiny one. When you're the tiny one, you're always going to be the one partner. It's
Yeah,
great.
that's right.
I'm like, you will
Very
always
true.
be lifted every
Yeah.
time.
Speaking as a pipsqueak
Yes.
myself, I know exactly what Fawn's doing in dance class. We need to
Yep.
lift someone. Fawn.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
Where you at?
Yep. It's like lifting a bird.
Yes.
That's all true. Well, now we only have 1 minute left with Kristen because she has other things to do.
Other things to do.
It's unbelievable.
The guilt trip.
I know.
The
it's-
guilt trip.
Well, that must have. Yeah. Do you have any other big Hollywood events going on this summer, or it's going to wind down?
Oh, there's a lot of premieres just because you get summer movie premieres and things like that. So that will probably be the bulk of all of it. But
before
the
you-
other big. Oh, go ahead.
Before you go, we didn't talk to Kristen about Nona's, did we?
No.
No, we saw that.
Phenomenal.
Did you enjoy it?
Well, you know,
Loved it.
I watched the previews and I thought this is just gonna. It was like all about Susan Sarandon's big boobs, and I'm like, this is gonna be so stupid. Once again, it's gonna be old ladies, boobs.
Oh, one of those.
Yeah, and it wasn't like that at all. It was actually really good. There were a
It
bunch of
was.
women who
Loved
you
it.
haven't seen in years.
Yep.
Brenda
Vaccaro,
Vaccaro
yeah.
Lorraine Bracco is in it.
and
Lorraine
Lorraine
Bracco's in it, yep.
Bracco.
Lorraine Bracco, Talia Shire's in it. Linda
Yeah.
Cardellini's in it.
Yeah.
Vince Vaughn's in it.
And Vince Vaughn is, doing Vince Vaughn,
Yeah,
which he's,
he's
you
only
know,
got
Joe
the one
Manganiello.
thing.
Vince
He's
Vaughn only
great,
has one
though.
character in his
he really
repertoire.
does, but it worked really well with this show. And apparently, this restaurant is a real live restaurant on Staten Island,
Yep, it is.
and it was based on the story of how that restaurant came to be, and it was actually quite touching. Tom teared up a couple of times. and
definitely did,
Yeah, it
no
was actually
question.
it was much better than the previews suggested.
And it's on
Most of
Netflix
them.
if anyone wants to watch
is
it. So
very
it came out a
good.
few weeks ago. So
Okay, before we go, I'm just telling you, there wasn't, because Vince Vaughn's name comes up. Whenever his name comes up, this pops in my head. We were at a party downtown Minneapolis many years ago, and there were all these celebrities at the party. And Alex's college roommate or buddy or whatever, she was at the party with us.
She's from the UK.
And when Vince Vaughn walked over to say hello and give everybody a hug and shake their hand, I thought she was going to pass out.
Yeah, she was very dramatic about it.
She
really
did not stop
was.
talking about that meet and greet for
I was like,
many
He is
years.
very tall.
I was like,
He's so
6'5", yeah.
huge.
I was like, be cool,
Very,
Becky.
very tall.
But such a nice man. I've talked to him a few times now. He's just a great guy. Really like him.
Is Bad Monkey coming back? That's his show, right?
Yeah. I haven't, I think they got a season 2 if I recall, but I
Okay.
don't remember if they have a date. Because that's Apple TV.
That's
Oh,
Apple
yeah.
TV. That's right.
Yeah.
Well, you only can do what you can do.
I'll look into it and find out for you guys tomorrow to see if we have a season 2 premiere date set. I don't think it's been set yet, but it is coming.
Okay.
Maybe when I actually finally, after 35 years, meet you in person, maybe I will nearly pass out.
I know. Why has that happened?
No, it's
You'll
so
be like,
weird.
she's so short.
It's so
You'll be like,
weird.
you're so short. You're only 5'3".
5'3". All right, we'll talk to you tomorrow.
Yes, I will be here tomorrow. See you all then.
Bye.
Thanks a
Thank
lot.
you.
Bye.
Kristen Bird Entertainment News brought to you by North American Banking Company. Go to nabanco.com to learn more. Member FDIC Equal Housing Lender. We'll be right back in a couple of minutes, ladies and gentlemen. Bob Sansevere will join us right after this.
Many car dealers try to create an extreme sense of urgency. Does anybody really buy it?
We gotta sell 100 cars by Saturday to get the boss off the roof. You'll never see these rebates again. And oh yeah, your trade will never be worth more.
Really? I asked Jim Paul from Valley Buick GMC in Apple Valley and Valley GMC in Hastings his thoughts.
I don't even know what to say. I hope folks are smarter than that.
Has there really ever been a time when it was urgent?
Probably not, but this tariff environment might be a first. Valley has several hundred pre-tariff units on the ground. Who knows what's going to happen with the tariffs, but these are really safe buys. Going forward, Valley's committed to make whatever the situation is as painless as possible, like we've always done.
Where can we find you then?
Get them pre-tariff. Hurry, hurry, hurry. When they're gone, they're gone. And man,
At a Valley store in Apple Valley or Hastings or valleycardealers.com. Certainly not on a roof.
Let's talk about my bank, North American Banking Company. Look, it's easy to feel like just another account number at the big national banks, but that's not how it works with my friends at North American Banking Company. Whether you're visiting their locations in Roseville, 50th in France, Hastings, Woodbury, Shoreview, or Maple Grove, you'll always find real people who know you by name and actually care about your finances, not some AI chatbot. They also offer all the modern conveniences you expect, like online and mobile banking, but with a personal touch that only a community bank can offer. So why settle for less when you can bank with my friends at North American Banking Company? Visit nabanco.com to learn more. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender. And for new listeners, I must point out that I don't call people my friends unless they really are my friends. So when I say my friends at North American Banking Company, I'm not making that up. I know everybody that works there. Bilski might at this point be my best friend. How sad is that? Bilski
Cute.
is all I have to say.
So cute.
So cute.
It's all true, no question. So, Fawn, I got to tell you, honestly, we had quite the good time watching you. I didn't know. I knew you had a lot of moves and all that stuff, but you were very athletic and very flexible.
And very good at the aerials.
At the aerials.
Very good
good at the
aerials.
aerials.
My
That
word.
was Seiji being kind to his sister.
Very
Okay.
good at holding.
Okay, so what is the older girls, the seniors, were doing this cartwheel flip from just standing still? What's that called?
Standing aerial.
A standing area.
Standing area.
So you can
Okay.
run into an aerial, or you can just like do an
Just-
aerial.
Yeah, I remember my neighbors
she's
could
gonna
do
do
that,
it.
and I could never do that. I was always too tall.
How can Ariel stand if she doesn't have feet?
An interesting
Thank
question.
you. Thank you very much.
An interesting question. Yeah, she's a good little dancer, that's
She
for
is
sure.
a good
Somebody
little
came up
dancer.
to her after the show. Two people did actually, and they were like, "I don't even know you, but you are amazing." They were like, "Every time that you were on stage, you're all I could watch. Like
she's-
you are
she's
very
she's
talented."
an it girl. She's an it girl.
I was like, Aw.
She is.
All right, when we do that again, then I'll show Fawn what I did when they were saying that. Okay, so here's how it went, Fawn. You ready?
She's doing her pinch punch.
She's not listening at all?
Oh, there she is.
Was she already? Okay, say that again, Alex. And then
You are amazing.
No, she isn't.
Oh, no. Keeping her humble.
Oh, I'm going to get punched.
Oh, you're going to get
You're gonna
harpooned.
get harpooned
get
with a pinch
harpooned.
pot
I'll punch
thingy.
you.
No,
No,
you
say it.
love
Punching.
punching
Get out
me.
of
No
here.
punching. Oy, oy, oy.
Help.
And he's punching.
I'm
her.
being harassed physically. You
Anyway,
can't be on
get
camera.
off
Your
the camera.
mom doesn't want you to be on camera. All right, Sandy, as usual, is late. What a shock for an Italian to be
He
late.
is.
Does he remember?
He's usually
Monday?
right on
I-
time at 11:05.
He usually is.
We can congratulate him.
Yeah, I was going to
Yes,
say.
it's out there in the open now.
Ah, baby.
Well, it's
That's
been
right.
it's been out there in the open actually for a while, but
Well, I think they announced it like last Tuesday or Wednesday, and I was like, we haven't had Bob on.
Yeah.
yeah, we didn't have Bob on last week, so
So hopefully he'll show up today so we can
Hopefully.
congratulate him.
Yes.
if he's
Very
not here
exciting.
by 10 after, I'll text him or something.
Yeah,
Where
he might just forget it's. Sometimes when you have a holiday weekend and you go back to your
Yeah.
life, you get a little mixed up on the dates.
Well, yeah, and it's
I
weird
suppose, yeah.
too because like the end of the school year, like we're out of school, but everybody else we know is still in school
yeah.
until
Yep.
this week, and some even go into next week.
Right.
And so everybody keeps on being like, "How's it being on summer break?" And I'm like, "Well, we only had Friday." And like it's normal to have a Friday off of school.
Yeah,
And so I'm like, I
yeah.
don't really feel like we're on summer break yet, but then she had her dance recital, so now I feel like this week will feel like, okay, summer break.
Yeah.
That'll be the deal.
And most of her friends will be getting out of school this week, either Wednesday or Thursday. So then that'll be like, okay.
Okay.
It's
we
official.
gotta have some Sandy on today because I have very important things to talk about with Sansevere, particularly about baseball and football. Now, I didn't know, like I said, baseball, you have to buy 3 different networks. MLB, you got to buy
Apple Plus.
and you got to buy Fox. If you
Yeah.
live in this market. The markets in which you live in have to pay the most money.
Well, and I'm wondering if indeed if your team goes to the World Series, is there going to be another network that's going to carry those?
I wouldn't doubt it. They probably make you pay for that, too.
I guess
Yep.
they have they have contracts with Fox that extend now for another 2 or 3 years. They were supposed to expire, I think, this
Oh, yeah.
year, but now they're going on for 2 or 3 more years.
But I mean, it's just amazing. When I was a kid, you listened to a lot of the games on the radio because they weren't on
I
television,
think you can still listen to them on the radio.
Oh, you definitely, yeah. If
Yeah.
you tune into,
which is not a bad idea anyway. And then television came along, mostly they were on Channel 9, I know, local television for a long time. And it was so great. You could sit down and watch local television. You didn't have to pay. I mean, they had commercials, but that's the other thing. You pay this $100 fee or whatever it is, and you still have to watch even more commercials than ever.
My question is there a local station that carries it? So if you had an antenna, you could watch
That's a
the
good
Twins?
question. Anyone in
I mean, do they?
any listeners know?
What was
you're
the
in the-
question again?
If you just had an antenna and you just wanted to watch it, if they still carry it on Channel 9.
I don't think they broadcast television signals like that anymore.
Yeah,
Yeah, they do.
Do
we
they
we have an
still?
They
antenna.
do.
Yeah.
Really?
A
I
lot
didn't even know
a lot
they
of
did that.
people were like, after I started getting my bills for streaming services, I just got an antenna
Yeah.
and I watch TV on my antenna.
If you know the answer, why not text us at 612-361-6622?
Or if you know Bob Sansevere, have him text us too and get off his ass.
Yeah,
and
he
show
might
up.
know. He's a sports
yeah,
guy.
really, he might.
He
Yeah,
must-
but yeah, Melissa's brother had a spare HD antenna, and it's at our house now. And Melissa's mom sometimes used it to watch sports. So I know
Yeah.
you can. I just don't know if they have like all the games or what.
You have one downstairs, Alex. Dan might know.
I have absolutely no idea.
You have no clue?
But you
One
do
of
have
our
an
listeners
HD antenna.
says no.
No?
What?
He just says no on the local antenna.
Oh, you can't. So they don't broadcast the games on local TV.
They do some, I'm pretty sure.
I don't know. I mean, if they do the radio, why wouldn't they have somebody filming it?
Oh, well, there is that.
It's just so dumb.
That is very,
Well,
very
they
true.
do. That's how they get on the streaming services
No,
and
but I
stuff.
mean, you know, it's a cheap way of. I mean, there's got to be local sponsors.
But
They-
if the Twins have like a deal with,
Oh, yeah, then they have to be exclusive.
yeah, exactly. They might
Yeah.
have non-competes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
What if we find out after this show today, because he's 10 minutes late, that Bob was hit by a car.
Oh, wow. Where
I'm not
you're
saying he
going
got
with
killed.
That?
I'm just saying he got hit by a car.
That's weird.
I'm not
Yikes.
saying he was hurt.
That's
apparently-
a dark place to go.
Yeah, no. Tire says very few are broadcast. Another person says only Tuesday nights.
Really? Tuesday night.
So you have to have a whole
That's interesting.
MLB calendar.
I know, for
Tuesdays
real.
here, Fridays
Oh, you do
there,
now. Absolutely you do.
Insane.
So dumb.
Because none of the Saturday or Sunday games apparently away are on
Yeah.
MLB.
Yeah, but MLB, when you're out of market, you can watch all the games.
All the games
out
free.
of market.
Yep, we did at the beginning of the season. I
Yep.
watched every game.
Which does not make any
And
sense.
technically, you could get a VPN on your network, but honestly, they're probably they're gonna block those too because it saves them money or gets them more money doing that.
Money, money, money. Greed monsters.
Yep.
Somebody should call Bob and tell him to get off his ass.
Yeah, I'm gonna text him.
What is it? Well, why don't we? Well, no, if you're texting and you
Fawn
do that,
is
you can't.
highly offended.
Well, you could do.
What?
Do we need a commercial
You
break?
swore.
I did not. I said get off your butt.
That is not what you said.
Lies.
Why? What did I say? Get
You
off your
said
ass.
ASS.
I said get off your ace. ACE.
That's what he said.
Get off your ace right now.
Oh, here we go. Wow. Here's the schedule. Yeah, 10 games on Fox 9 this season.
10. That's it.
But then you have to subscribe to that for how much money?
No, this is on the.
Local.
Oh, local.
This is, local. Fox
Okay.
9. So June 24th, July 8th, July 29th. So it's like every 2 weeks you'll get a game.
On Saturdays, right? They're all on Saturdays.
For all you
Are
poors
they?
out there that
June
don't want to spend $1,000 on
watch-
watching
No, they're all
games.
Tuesdays.
They're
oh,
like-
they have Tuesdays. Oh, that's right.
We'll throw
Four
you
games.
a bone.
There's like 4 games a week.
I know. It's
You can watch 10 games in a year.
Wow.
Yeah, Tire's got the real solution.
Okay.
Become a fan of a team that isn't your team.
Well, that's
There you
probably
go.
There you go.
That's what
Just
we
not
did
care
in
about
Florida.
baseball. That's my
Or,
move.
well, yeah, or that.
I love baseball. Though. Catherine and I have always loved watching baseball.
I know we're taking the kid. Same here.
I like playing it but not watching it.
Yeah.
The
You
only
like to
thing
play
I
it but
like
not
about
watch it?
Baseball is playing it.
Playing baseball is more
I
fun
like
than
to play
watching
catch
it.
with my dad.
What's your position now in baseball? Do you have a position?
He doesn't. They
He
just
likes.
play catch.
He wants to
You guys
bat.
play catch?
Yes.
He wants to bat.
You want to
I
bat?
like to. I just have me and my dad have my mitts and I have my ball, and we just play catch with our mitts and ball. We don't bat or anything.
When I
Okay.
played with him, he was just the batter. I was the pitcher and the infielder and the outfielder. And he
Yes.
would barely let me bat because he didn't want to do all those positions.
Yeah. Of course.
I was
It's
exhausted.
actually easy. All you do is try to catch the ball
Oh,
and pitch.
yeah, so
So
easy.
do you think it's true that it's a
And,
fact?
and try to get people out.
Yeah, it was
That's
so
all you gotta
easy to
do.
do all
Yeah.
of the things.
Simple, Mom. Jeez.
So
Get
there-
those long
there's-
legs.
It's so simple, Nana. It is so simple.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing.
There
that
you
with
have
me.
Do you think that is absolutely true, though, that all Italians are always late because they're so rude? Oh, wait a minute. Bob's with us.
Well, they're not rude. They just have bad memories.
Nice
I
memory.
told you it was going to be because it's Monday and all
Well,
that.
last week threw everything off when it was
That's what
the
I said.
holiday,
It did.
What I
you're right.
said, that happens to me all the time.
and it didn't feel like Monday
It
for some
didn't?
reason.
Ladies and gentlemen, Bob Sansevere Sports brought to you by Bradshaw and Bryant Personal Injury Lawyers. Seeking justice for the injured, contact Bradshaw and Bryant at MinnesotaPersonalInjury.com. That's MinnesotaPersonalInjury.com. We may as well do a break here because then you can just flow right through till the last break.
There we go.
That's a good idea, don't you think?
Sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, local business owners, want to get your name in front of the Tom Bernard podcast audience. We're hosting a summer online auction in a couple of weeks, and it's the perfect way for you to get involved. Just provide a product, service, or gift card, and we'll put it up for auction to our listeners and viewers. If your item sells, you'll receive trade advertising equal to the full retail value of what was sold. That means more exposure for your business without spending a dime out of pocket. Just trading items for advertising. It's easy, it's fun, it's a win-win for everyone. To get more information, visit our website and click on the Advertise With Us button, and we'll get back to you. Don't miss out. Join the Tom Bernard online summer auction today. For Bradshaw and Bryant, Michael Bryant. Michael, what's up?
Dealing with another case where a person gave a statement to the adjuster because they thought the person was really friendly.
Is that a good idea?
Well, the problem is they know the law when they call you up. And while you're trying to be fair and you're trying to get help, the reality is there are questions you get asked that the way you answer them make a big difference. And people put themselves in trouble. And when they aren't in trouble, they didn't do anything wrong. But suddenly the adjuster's got a statement that can blow up their case completely.
What has caused people to be so untrustworthy, I guess is the best way I could put it? They take advantage.
Well, insurance companies have hired adjusters whose job it is to deal with unrepresented people. So they're supposed to kind of lure them in, call them every day, see how they're doing, and people are like, oh, I'm doing pretty good. Where the reality is they've kind of adjusted to their problem that they've got going on. So it's not that they're completely better, but the way they say it gets to be a problem. And that's why having somebody who can explain your rights, represent you, make sure that you understand the law before you give a statement can make a big difference in your case.
Michael Bryant, Bradshaw and Bryant. It is time for Wellshire Alzheimer's and Dementia Care Facilities. Wellshire Alzheimer's and Dementia Care Facilities are a place where your loved one will live with pride and dignity. If you care deeply about someone in your life, well, Wellshire is the place I highly recommend. Wellshire is a memory care-focused facility, has a full nursing team, always staffed within the building 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. They have never used or relied on any staffing agencies. Wellshire of Medina is now accepting elderly waivers after 12 months of private pay. I know them personally, and they are a family-owned local company conveniently located right in Medina and Bloomington. They are the best staffed memory care facility in the state. Wellshire has a robust community with activities 7 days a week. If your loved one is in need of a memory care facility, please get in touch with my friends at Wellshire. Set up a tour or learn more at wellshiremn.com. That's WEALSHIREMN.com. Ladies and gentlemen, Bob Sansevere Sports brought to you by Bradshaw and Bryant, personal injury lawyers seeking justice for the injured. Contact Bradshaw and Bryant at MinnesotaPersonalInjury.com. So, Sandy, what's the latest?
Well, Twins suck again.
Yeah, you know what's so interesting about that, Bob, is they lost a couple of games by 1 run, and they made physical mistakes to bring about those losses.
Tom, it'll be like this all season. They will have a little bit of a run that makes, hey, they're back. They're really going to be something.
Yep.
They're not catching. They are not going to move into the. I mean, there's 7 games out now.
Yeah, now they're 7 games behind.
You're going to make Tom cry.
What's that?
Yeah,
You're
Bob.
going to make Tom cry. He's got hope. He has hope this year.
Okay, the best team in the American League happens to be in your division.
Yep, the Detroit Tigers are a damn good baseball team.
Cleveland's not too shabby either.
Okay, let me ask you this, Bob, and I'm very serious about this, and boy, did I ever catch hell for it back in the old KQ days. But if the Polads would get off their ass and spend money and do something, this would be a good baseball team.
Tom, the Polads have put the team into, what are they, 250 million or more than that.
No, it's 450 million.
Yeah, 400 in debt, which is one of the reasons why people aren't buying the team. And then you get that knothead Joe, the grandson. I'd like to stay around and help run the team.
That's what he said.
You already ran it into the ground. Yeah, we're going to keep you around.
You know what's amazing about that? When I used to criticize the Polads back in the day, to this day, the Polad family hates my guts. But you deserved it. You keep doing things like this. That's the problem with the team. You won't come off the money.
When you're Minnesota royalty, you're not used to getting
Minnesota royalty.
But
criticized.
Here, I mean, it is the classic catch-22. You don't spend money to bring in good talent.
Yep.
People don't go, so you don't make money at the gate.
Absolutely.
Bob, this is new information.
Yes, I know. We've never had this before.
Why can't people understand this fact?
It's the Polad way. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut on her.
That's okay. All of a sudden,
Where's the mic? She should be on camera.
Yeah,
Or you
no,
are
not allowed to be on camera.
no,
Sage
not
is
on
always
camera.
trying to put his 2 cents
Put her
in.
mask on her face.
Wait,
It's him. It was the 7. Well, you're not 7 yet.
before you came on,
Couple
we
of
were
weeks.
complaining about the fact that now you have to have 3 different apps to watch the games. And now we're understanding that that's all games, right? You have to have
What do you
all
mean?
these.
You have to 3 running at once?
Well,
What
you
are
have to have
talking about?
MLB for regular games. You have to have
Okay.
Saturday night is Fox, and then what did you
Sunday
say?
night.
Sunday is Apple Plus
It's
TV.
Apple Plus TV, yep.
Okay, with all you have a lot of the apps, right? your Netflix.
Well,
your
we got
Hulu,
loads of
your-
apps, yes.
Right.
Why do you even waste your time watching the Twins?
That's a great
Because it just
question.
drives you nuts.
That's a great question.
Well, that's
Tom
true.
loves the twins.
Always have loved the
has.
twins, always
It's
will love the
definitely a
twins.
love-hate relationship, but he's always loved them.
I like all the Minnesota sports
Do you-
teams.
Do
there you
you?
go.
Good
There
for
you
you.
have it.
Plus, I like sports.
You do like
He
sports.
sure does.
But-
love
But except for the girls' sports.
Excuse me.
Oh, that's nice.
Excuse me.
I only
Guess what,
like the
Sage?
boys.
Guess who's undefeated right now? The women's basketball Minnesota team. The
Undefeated.
Blah,
Lynx.
blah, blah, blah,
Yeah, right
blah.
now I
They're
think I
the-
just read something that
He
they're
just say
undefeated.
blah, 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 blah.
I don't
And you
care.
know who just won?
He's a sassy cat.
Guess how
this
many
one.
Stanley Cups the Wild have won? 0.
Zero.
They haven't even made it to the finals. Guess how many consecutive whatever cups the Minnesota Frost, the female team, has won? 2.
Two. That's how
Whatever
many.
So boom, it's like
Say,
the
give her another blah, blah,
And the
blah.
Lynx,
Morgan
Boom,
Cup.
and the
Sage.
Lynx
I
have won more
do
than the
not
Timberwolves ever have.
care
well.
who
my God,
wins more
this kid spends a lot of time
I
with her
just
the
care
grandpa.
who I like more.
Yep.
No, I think that's Dad. I think that might be Dad.
No, Dan knows better than to speak ill of
Blah, blah,
women's
blah, blah,
sports.
blah, blah.
near
Okay, let's get that
Okay,
mic
Sage.
off there. Thank you very
It's
much.
called the Walter Cup, by the way.
Walter. Yeah, I was like, it's like the
Walter.
Morgan Cup or
Yeah.
something.
And
And
there's
Walter.
only ever been 2 of them,
Oh,
But Bob,
and we've won
happy
both.
birthday, Morgan
see,
Freeman
look at that.
yesterday.
Boom.
There you go.
if this team would step up and get a couple of players, this would be a pretty good baseball team.
But they won't.
But they
'cause
won't do it. They just will not spend the money.
When
The
can
only-
they do that? When could they trade players?
Anytime.
Anytime? Is that how it is
the
in baseball? They
Trade
don't.
deadline is a while away. And
Yes.
You know what? The one organization, and I actually, I got to say, the Wild owner tried and he failed.
Yeah.
But the Wolves do not hold back. They will spend the money.
They will, yes.
So you have to give credit to them for doing that.
No.
And the NBA, I mean, these guys, it's crazy money in the NBA
Yeah. So why
It
don't
is.
they win?
because they have decided to make their leader a 23-year-old kid who has a lot of maturing to do.
Yes,
oh,
that's
why
very
would they
true.
do that?
Well, he does have a lot of talent,
He has incredible talent, but
Doesn't
he,
mean
but he
he's
does
a-
have to mature a lot. Yes, for
he's
sure.
a man-child. And Gelfand thinks he's a narcissist beyond being a
I think that's
being
accurate.
mature.
Well, I don't agree with. I mean, maybe. I mean, I guess if you become like, people are telling you you're one of the greatest of all time in basketball at the age of 22,
Yeah.
then yeah, that
Well,
he's 23
now-
now, but last year was kind of the first big year of like Anthony Edwards.
okay, I have great respect for his talent. I have
Yes.
great same thing with Chris Carter. Incredible wide receiver. And he, if I had a third down catch, I needed one, I'd want him making it.
Right.
But he was a horrible person.
Was he really?
And this
Oh.
guy is the one who sent the email or the text back to a girlfriend or a woman who he impregnated.
Oh,
and
yeah.
he said, didn't he say something about I get an abortion?
Yep.
LOL.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like I'll take care of it, or
And then
whatever,
he
I'll just
paid
Venmo
the
you.
entirety,
Yeah.
18 years of child support. I don't know if it was that kid or another one. Now, the rumor is there's at least 4 kids. He's populating the earth like Travis Henry.
Unbelievable.
10 kids, 9 women. I don't know his situation, but I'm not a fan of him at all. His
No.
talent, you cannot deny.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, full disclosure, and Catherine's never told anybody, but I was going to walk away from Andy and Alex, but she talked me into staying,
Your professional sports career didn't take off. So.
Yeah, that's right, exactly.
It is interesting though, because like I didn't really know much about Shea Gilgeous-Alexander,
What?
who's like the star of the
Shea Gilgeous
Gilgeous-Alexander. He's the star of the Oklahoma City
MVP.
Thunder. Yes, and he was the MVP of this year. Watching him play basketball is horrible.
It's actually pronounced Gilgeous.
Gilgeous? Okay, sorry.
Well, it's spelled like gorgeous, so there you
Yeah,
go.
but it's Gilgeous. Yeah, sorry.
Yes.
Watching him play basketball is awful. He looks like a cartoon character, and he's just like constantly
Scoring.
flailing all over the place, and
Like on purpose?
His face, the faces he makes, I'm like, what are you doing? He just looks like I'm like, stop it. I don't know. I didn't like it.
Yes, but he's married with a child who he dotes on before and after games, and it's not for show.
Oh, well.
Yeah, like
nice.
he's probably a great guy. I feel like
Finally,
Anthony
a
Edwards,
role model.
Anthony and Shea have they're like polar opposites. Like Anthony Edwards is really fun to watch play basketball because he plays it in like a very straightforward way, and like he's very athletic, and it's not like
Yes.
super showy, you know.
Until you really need him and he goes in the tank.
Well, sometimes. but then, yeah, like his personal life is a hot mess. I don't know. It's
Oh, we hear there's congratulations in order.
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
Family.
Sandy.
Grandpa.
Grandpa
You know-
ooh mau mau, Grandpa ooh mau mau mau.
So for our listeners who don't know what we're talking about,
I'm sure
Bob, why don't you break the news?
Well, it's, my daughter Samantha announced on the show she's on last week. I've known her for a few months, but we were kept
Yes, not allowed to
yes.
say a word.
No.
the lid of silence or whatever it is,
Yes.
the cone
Cone
of
of
silence.
Cone of
silence.
silence.
Yes.
But she's in her second trimester and pregnant, and it would be my first actual grandchild, though people have thought I've been a grandfather since I was in my mid-30s.
There you go.
Well, that's great. Congratulations.
Well, thank you.
You know what's great about that, Bob, is I did an appearance on the Power Trip morning show over at K-Fan.
Yeah.
What, about a couple of weeks? No, that was a few weeks ago. But I did, and she came out of her studio because she's in the same
you ran
building.
into her.
I ran into her, and God, I've known her since she was a little baby, obviously, and now she's this mature woman, beautiful young woman. Got her looks from her mother, thank God.
Yes.
So
No.
Oh, I think she looks like a combination.
Yeah,
she
she
does.
Mary,
She
for
absolutely
She's got a
does.
little bob
But
going.
what
sure.
a sweet person. She's one of the sweetest people you'll ever meet.
She is.
Yeah, she's all right. Now she's got a birthday tomorrow too.
Oh, it's a birthday tomorrow.
Well,
Nice.
isn't the baby due in November? What if it's November 7th
Yes.
again?
Oh, dear,
November
another one.
7th again, about 85, November 7th.
Another one.
That'll
I'll
be
tell her
good.
to hold off till the 7th.
Yep.
Yeah.
Hold it in.
That's
it's
how
not that
works.
hard.
That's how that
Doesn't
works.
work
It's
that
not
So,
that
Bob-
hard.
All right, now I got to ask both of you. Now, Andy and Alex, you've had obviously children.
Yes, I have had
Did you
children.
want to? Did you want to know the sex? Because Sam doesn't. and
We did.
I'm too impatient. There's no way. The first moment they said, "Yeah, I got to know."
I think it. I apparently people, because Sam talked about this openly, that she had fertility struggles, and
She had 2 miscarriages.
yes, and I know that it is very, very common for people that had fertility struggles to not care about the gender, because they're just like, I'm just happy I'm pregnant.
Yeah.
Like I don't,
Yeah.
I'm good. Like we'll like
No,
everything
I get
else.
that.
We've already had enough surprises, so we'll just like I'm pregnant, and let's just make sure it sticks that way, and we'll find out the gender later. So I don't know. I found out with both of mine because I was very sick both of my pregnancies. Very sick, and I just was like, I just need something to kind of feel more connected to the baby rather than and I hated saying like it,
Yeah.
Yeah.
like oh it's kicking or
don't
the
know.
baby, like I don't know, that bothered me. So
He
being
or
able to
she.
be like
with they're kicking. Go with
yeah
that
they're
pronoun.
kicking, yeah, but I'm just like
Just
I
be
just like
grammatically
being able
correct. Say he or she.
yeah
He or she is kicking.
I liked being able to be like oh she and kind of
Feels more like a person.
yes
Yeah.
feels more like a person rather than like this alien that's
Yeah.
like taking over everything. I don't know.
I couldn't have cared less, to be honest. I mean, it's just like, a baby's a baby.
Yeah.
It's not going to matter until, what, like the age of 5 or 6,
Well,
really?
it is nice to be able to prepare a little
But
bit.
that's
like,
what Melissa, Melissa was
clothes-
like, yeah, we need to get, the correct clothes and
Yeah.
that sort of thing. But I'm like, I don't know, babies wear baby clothes.
I don't know. You got. It is kind of difficult to find gender neutral baby clothes. It's
Is
kind
it?
of surprising. Yes. Especially like every
Really?
single article of clothing, I swear, before the age of
Get off camera.
before the age of like 4 or 5.
Well-
No, probably before the age of 5 is like either like trucks and dinosaurs
Yeah,
or
that's true.
unicorns and flowers.
Well,
like it's
Yeah, we got lucky with Ethan because he likes trucks.
Yes.
And, he's got a whole lot of trucks and superheroes and stuff like that. Not that he cares about heroes, but,
Yeah.
whatever works. But, I mean, we got stuff.
I
We
mean,
got
you
a
can
lot of gender neutral
you
Your
stuff.
can
gene
find
pool right there.
gender neutral stuff, but it's harder to find.
It's definitely easier if you want to get something for a boy. It's easy to find something about, trucks or dinosaurs or superheroes or that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Yep.
It is.
Yeah, if we ever have a third and it's a girl, I don't know what we're gonna do.
I don't either.
Although we're gonna have to throw away all our clothes after Colin. It'll all be stained by 2 babies worth.
That's true.
We've already, God, it's very difficult to have one pair of clothing last more than about a year with a kid that age.
Yeah. They're
So,
messy.
Yeah, they sure are. We've gotten some insane stains out of their clothes
Oh,
before.
so you got to be really good at laundry.
So, Bob,
yeah.
are you going to be a
Yeah, what's-
papa? What are you going to be called?
Well,
I
you're
want to be
Italian.
old Pappy.
Old Pappy.
I
You're going to get a corn
my
cob
favorite
pipe?
cartoon as a kid, and it was Pappy. Old Pappy.
You don't want to be
You know what the
no
kid
no.
decides, really. Don't they? No, yeah, the Italian thing. No one, I've never had it. My grandfather was grandpa, grandmother was grandma. Wasn't Nana and No-No.
Really?
Wasn't,
Oh.
it wasn't that's what it was. And it wasn't like Meemaw, like the South and Big Bang.
Oh yeah, me.
Oh yeah.
Yes,
My
Mima.
Yeah. But doesn't the kid have a say in it? How they pronounce your name
Oh,
is
well-
what it
Well,
becomes?
Fawn was
yeah.
the one that decided Bop Bop.
Fawn, yeah, definitely named.
Fawn was the first
Tom.
grandchild, so she got dibs.
Yeah.
Well, it
She
was
got dibs
weird.
on Bop Bop.
It was weird.
So
She was sitting on
your
the
pop,
ground.
with all the kids, your pop-up.
Bop Bop.
Bop Bop.
Bop, bop. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
she
bop,
was. Well, okay. First of all, I know I've told this story before, but you need to hear this. When we were talking to my parents about, like, what do you want to be called? Blah, blah, blah. My dad was going with grandfather.
Grandfather.
And I'm like, are we in a Dickens novel? What are you talking? No, they're not going to call you that. And then my mom
Grandfather.
was like, Kiki.
Yeah, oh God, that's right.
And I was like,
Catherine.
you're,
So
you're
it
not
goes Kiki.
I was like, you're not Dad's third wife.
was going to say
like,
that-
what are we?
It sounds like Dad
Oh,
married.
well.
It
I
sounds like
wasn't
Dad
thinking of that.
married a
100%.
stripper who was 50 years
100%.
younger than
Oh,
him.
Yes.
uh,
It
that's,
does.
That's where you
Kiki.
went. Okay, I
That's-
didn't know that.
Maybe
I
What
agree.
do they
I
What do
wholeheartedly
they
agree.
call you?
Nana.
Nana.
Nana. Oh,
I don't know
she's
where
like,
that came
she's
from.
like, grandma's
Kind of an Italian.
Grandma
Nana,
makes
Nana.
me sound old, and I'm like, I can
Yeah, it
understand that. And I'm
does.
like, but Nana's cute.
Well,
and then
also, I just remember having to, my grandmothers. I remember having to be like Grandma
yeah, I always,
Kubash
yeah.
and Grandma Brandt, and it
Yes.
was like it just would be nicer
Yeah.
to not have to have that.
Well, I don't know. For us, it was Grandma, and then there was Toots,
Yeah.
because Toots was Toots.
Yep.
She had her own special title.
But she
And then
hated-
we only
she
had
hated
one
that her whole
grandpa,
life.
so I mean, I don't know. It's not
Yeah,
that difficult.
well,
Yeah.
I know, but I mean, when you do have everybody,
Yeah.
are all your parents alive, Bob and Mary?
Not a one.
No, nobody.
No, because Mary and my mom and Mary's mom were both alive when all the kids were born, and it was when they were around. It was Grandma Mary and Grandma Betty.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now Mary
Grandma
did it,
Betty.
and I just that's silly. Just call them Grandma. They'll
That's
figure
silly.
it out. It's a
Yeah,
difference.
like we'll point at
I don't know,
which
it's
one.
kind of fun to have a little different name. Though.
Yeah, but Fawn was the one. She was probably, I don't even know, 18 months, a year.
If
Yeah.
I
that.
don't know how. If that, she was very little.
Yeah.
Because she talked really early, and she was like this tiny little. It was weird. But she was sitting on the floor, and she just pointed at my dad and went bop bop,
She did.
and then she
And
just
that was it.
kept
Bop,
calling
bop.
him bop bop, and we were like, well, I guess
that's
we're
that.
gonna go with
Found
bop
your-
bop.
It's
Okay.
Bop
Well,
Bop.
you know, I honestly don't care what the kid calls me as long as it identifies me before it identifies its mom or dad.
Wow.
There you go. That makes sense. That'll
And I've been-
totally happen.
She was over the other night because it was my other daughter's birthday. They're like several days apart. And I kept walking over and bending down. Oh, Peppy, oh, Peppy, oh, Peppy. Oh, Peppy. That subliminal thing.
Old Pappy.
Oh,
Happy.
Pappy, oh,
Old
Pappy, oh, Pappy.
Pappy.
I wanted my kids to call Dad Grumpy. Because it's like
Grumpy.
kind of like Grandpa, but he's kind of grumpy.
Grandpa Grumpy.
Shut up already.
Exactly.
There it is.
What do you
Case
think
in
of
point.
that? Yeah,
We-
see, there you go.
I'm sure he's a pushover with the kids.
Oh,
Let me put it this way.
I
ridiculous.
can't even imagine.
Let me
Yeah,
tell you
I'm
something.
like, hey, what did you guys do at Nana and Bop Bop's house? Oh, we ate cinnamon rolls, and then
Yep.
we had
Monkey bread. Yep.
this,
bread.
and then
I
we
can't
ate
stop
ice
it. I
cream, and
can't
then
stop
and I'm
it.
like, so you're gonna either vomit or be awake for
it's
2
like
days.
it's like a
Oh.
freight train coming through. There's nothing I
But-
can do about it because they all
It
they all
is-
gang up against me.
Yeah.
Isn't it tempting, though, to like really load them up with sugar and send them home so they act the way
There you
your
go.
children acted when they were kids?
A little bit,
Drive me nuts.
little bit.
Ethan doesn't need that to act that way.
No.
Definitely.
It's just there.
Oh God! Second he wakes up in the morning, he's at 100% steam,
and
Yep.
never
and it doesn't go
stops.
away until he falls asleep.
Yeah.
But then he's energetic.
He is
is very
extreme. He's one of the most energetic children I've ever met in my life.
Yeah, he's.
I don't know where it came from.
Not you.
No, you were like
I
that
was
as a kid,
until
though.
I was like
Oh, yeah, you were-
13, 14, and then
Yeah.
all of a sudden I hit puberty and I was like
Yeah, you
down
were
to
a
no energy.
Psychopath.
Maybe he'll
child.
outgrow it in 13 or 14.
Yeah, in
Yeah.
10 more years, maybe he'll outgrow it.
Yep.
It's
It'll
all
happen.
true. Bob, I will tell you this, and it's very, very true. Fawn was born first, loved the kid. Sage born second, loved the kid. Ethan born third, loved that kid. And Colin, I already love him because every time he looks at me, he smiles.
He's the smiliest baby in the world.
He
Yeah.
smiles.
We'll go in
It's
there, wake him up from a
unbelievable.
nap, and he just looks over and he smiles.
See that
Oh.
he'll be your easy kid. It seems like when
That's
you got
what we're
two, you
hoping.
get one kind of.
Get the challenge and then the break.
Yep.
Oh, got breaking news from the chat, courtesy of Chad. This will be heartbreaking for Bob, given that he's Italian.
Oh no.
What?
Mount Etna has erupted.
Oh, whoa.
my
Oh,
God.
finally. They've been saying it was
Yeah.
going to.
Well,
Well, they
it's-
always say everything's going to erupt
no, but
at any
they've
moment.
known that one's going to erupt.
Yeah,
Like,
no,
actually.
it just erupted a few hours ago.
Oh.
Was it like Vesuvius?
I don't think
Has
it's
it
quite.
taken wiped out villages and cities?
Yes, all of Italy is gone.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
The country
That would
no
be
longer
disinformation.
exists. Yeah, no. I don't know if there's any deaths or anything so far. I don't believe so. It looks
hope
like
not.
it's just one of those like standard, it blows up and then there's a bunch of ash in the air.
Yeah.
Volcanic ash with an altitude of around 6.4 kilometers.
Wow.
Jeez.
That is quite the plume.
Yeah.
I believe that's like 3 miles for the people
think
listening
so.
from not Italy.
We got to take a break, come right back, and wrap things up with Bob and everybody, as a matter
Oh,
of
with
fact.
old Pappy, we have to call
Old
him
Pappy,
from now
old
on.
Old Pappy, yes, there you go. You're listening to me, your customers are listening to me, and they'll hear me promote your business. The Tom Bernard Podcast attracts thousands and thousands of listeners who are loyal, engaged, and ready to support businesses they trust. Our podcast has helped numerous businesses increase traffic, sales, and brand recognition. We're not just about the ads, we're about results. Whether you're a local business or a national brand, we offer custom advertising packages designed to fit your unique needs and goals. Our audience spans multiple demographics, allowing you to target your ideal customers with precision, from millennials to baby boomers and everyone in between. With a large, broad reach of this show and passionate following, your businesses will see increased visibility and awareness, translating into more customers and sales. Ladies and gentlemen, Bob Sansevere Sports brought to you by Bradshaw and Bryant, personal injury lawyer seeking justice for the injured. Contact Bradshaw and Bryant at MinnesotaPersonalInjury.com. Now, Bob, another thing
Yep.
you're going to love about being a grandfather, and I won't say who it was, but somebody was having a pretty rough time yesterday because they were not going to see a friend for a while.
Yeah.
And to be able to walk over and pick that person up, I won't say if it was a boy or a girl, but I'll pick that person up and hug them and tell them everything will be fine.
It was fun. It was fun.
Oh, but
It's okay.
Fawn, you do realize how important that was to me that I hugged you and told you everything was going to be all right. Me too, Fawny.
Not important at all.
Okay. Sage,
Oh,
jeez.
okay.
God, he is a
Sage.
sassy cat.
Yeah,
This
he's
one.
sassy cat, Sagey.
Well,
But Bob, through 3 generations, that you aren't going to believe how that feels. It's wonderful.
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds like you're all
Bob's trying
fired up.
not to
Well, I mean, it's
break
I'm not-
down.
no, I don't get all. I mean, I'm not. It hits, but I have kids, like I said, that people still think I got just turned 16, and people have always assumed she's my grandchild. and I told you this. I tell them she's not my grandchild; she's my great grandchild. At one point, they said, "Whoa, no way!" Now they just nod.
yep.
You look
Kind
great
of how it is.
Sounds
for your
Kind of how
age.
it is.
So
I love
that's
that
what
one.
it is. Can I tell you a quick story?
Love a quick story.
About a week ago, when I was in Fergus Falls, because my granddaughter Sienna, the great granddaughter, she was at a high school rodeo. So Mary and I go to Subway because it was close and it was quick. And I said, "Yeah, I'd like a drink." They give me a cup, fill it up with a Diet Pepsi, and I take one sip, and I say to the woman, "This tastes like soap." And the woman goes, "No way it could taste like soap." And I said, "Well, have you cleaned it recently?" "Well, yes, we did, but we don't use soap." So I said, "Well, I'm just going to get a bottle." Put it down. The other woman, there's 2 of them, takes my drink, drinks from it, and says, "It does taste like soap." And the other woman goes, "No way, it can't taste like soap." She picks it up, drinks from it, puts it down, looks around, drinks again, and says, "You know, it does taste like soap." Now, there's 2 things about that. 1, I convinced them it tastes like soap. 2, I could have had hepatitis. I could have
Yeah,
had
for real.
Exactly.
You could have had anything.
COVID,
Yeah.
any of it. And they both, without
Nope.
hesitation, took a slug from the cup that I drank
That
from.
is odd.
It's just
Was it a
but you
small
know what?
town somewhere
Small
where
town,
people
that's
trust?
the way of life, I guess.
where they trust people still.
I wouldn't go like for people who are Catholic would know where you get the wine. There's no way I'm drinking out of that thing.
Right.
No.
I know they
1,000
wipe
other
it with a
lips on it.
cloth.
I know.
Nah,
Yeah,
that'll
pass,
take care
hard
of it.
pass.
Yeah, even when I was a kid, I was like, I'm not doing that.
Nope.
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 If it was done my way, Mass would take about 4 days because I'd make them run it through the dishwasher every time we use it.
Yep.
You know,
Every time.
we attended a church one time, and they had little individual,
Yeah, they
tiny
have-
little glasses
Yeah.
in
Yes,
this
they
great big
did.
thing. And you just took
Shot
a tiny.
glasses.
It was itty bitty.
Consecrated shot glasses.
Yeah, and I was like, that's the way to go.
Yeah, exactly.
Except, do they clean the glasses afterwards?
I would assume so.
Well,
I
the wine will kill anything, right?
No.
I'm kidding.
I mean, I remember it. I think it might have been in St. Andrews. They used like plastic cups. They just threw them away afterwards.
That's the way to do it. As long as you know they don't reuse
It's
it.
not
But
as
then
like it's
garbage
it's a
everywhere
lot of
else.
garbage, and it's not exactly as I don't know. I don't want to say ostentatious. That's not the right word, but you know what I mean.
I'm sure
don't
they
use cups at our
wash.
school.
Just wash the glass. It's not hard.
Everybody has to bring a water bottle.
Yeah,
There it is.
there you go.
There you go. Everyone has to bring their own bottle of wine, and then
right.
the priest
Yeah.
can consecrate it, and then you can drink it.
Perfect.
Or your own glass.
Well,
That works.
congratulations again. Very excited
Well,
for you. You're going to love
It is
being
exciting,
an
and
old
even though I
pappy.
don't seem like I'm showing it, inside I'm bursting.
You know, the first grandchild is nerve-wracking.
Yeah,
because you're
fun.
like, can she do it? Is it
Yeah.
going to be okay? Is everything going to be all right? What's going to happen? What does this mean? Oh, my
Then
God.
there's attacking fawn.
And then after the first one, you're like, yeah, they got it.
Well, okay, I already told Sam now. If you're gonna, I said, are you gonna? Did either of you two, Andy and Alex, did you do the lessons they have, or the where you go to to these classes?
We did online ones.
Okay, I didn't do any of it because my doctor. I said, hey, we're going to the hospital. They know what they're doing. I did not know about the cone head.
Oh
Sam
yeah,
had an
Ethan had a
incredible cone head.
Ethan had a
wild
bad
one.
one. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
For
that
a
can
long
cause all sorts of problems.
Yep.
So I made. I mean, I was saying, is that going to change? How long does that last forever?
Yeah.
I had no idea.
It can if
Ethan
you
had
don't do
to have
something
had
about
it.
it, depending.
That's true. If you don't get like the special pillows and stuff like that, make sure
Helmets.
you have to make sure they sleep a certain way and that sort of thing. Ethan, it must have been 3 months.
Yeah.
Yeah,
he had
it
a
was
heavy
pretty
cone head.
crazy.
Yeah. We did a special type of birth class where it was like about preparing for birth and then newborn baby. And it was all in person, and it was like the greatest thing ever. I had
Hypno babies.
I had like the easiest births in the
Yeah.
history of the universe.
I would recommend that.
It's
She had a very easy time.
It's quite hippy dippy, but I will say it was incredible because people talk about how much having a baby hurts and how horrible it is. And I was like laughing and talking, and I felt
Yeah.
totally fine. Like, I don't know. Worked for me.
All right, Joe in the chat wants to know, Bob, what's your favorite color? He's gonna make a surprise for you.
Oh, dear.
Well, I mean, I don't mind blue.
There you
I
go.
don't mind
Don't
blue.
mind. What's
Don't
your
have too
no,
strong
what's
of an
your-
opinion.
I mean, I like blue. I don't like. I mean, I'm not like a yellow guy. Like the yellow vest people wear, I'm not into that. Black is okay. I mean, in terms. I'm thinking in terms of clothes that I wear.
Yeah.
Right.
Got a lot of blues. Got a lot of
Ooh,
blacks.
Yellow.
No,
Yeah,
there you go.
you know.
Yellow.
Freak him out.
Red's all right. I mean, whatever. You know what, Joe? Whatever color Joe likes.
Whatever,
Or whatever he has
color
extra
Joe
of.
likes. It's gonna
Not
be like
yellow.
magenta.
Yes.
Nice.
Hopefully.
That's fine with me.
A nice
Hues.
highlighter yellow shirt.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations again, Bob. That's
Yes.
one thing I love about doing a 3-generation show. These wonderful moments happen. I mean, some of them are sad when a grandparent or whatever passes away, but there are times like this where you're going to have a baby and everybody's ecstatic.
Well, I remember during the morning show when that young lady in my lower right was born.
Alex.
Yep.
I mean, it's incredible how time does, it moves along.
And now I'm 47. I'm just kidding.
not
I'm
quite.
47.
Well, we can close with this. Catherine and I were living in New York. I was just doing voiceover in New York at the time. Probably about March of 1986, Catherine calls me and says, Tom, I don't know what we're going to do living on 20th Street and 2nd Avenue in New York, but we're going to have a baby. And it's like, ooh. Literally, I'm on the phone with Catherine. I put the phone back, which you used to put on a little cradle. Haven't done that in a while.
Old tiny.
what?
An old happy
Cradle.
phone.
I put the phone back on the cradle. The phone rang, and I said hello. And he goes, "Hey Tom, it's Dave Hamilton. Do you have any interest in doing the KQ morning show?" It literally happened
really that
within
timing.
5 minutes.
Wow.
Interesting how quickly I went from I could have been born in downtown New York City,
Yep.
but but instead I grew up on a farm.
A horse farm in Dayton,
yeah,
Minnesota.
Yeah,
Dayton,
very
Minnesota.
rural
That's
at the
right.
time,
Yeah,
Minnesota.
two
yeah.
basically complete opposites.
Complete opposites, but there was a reason for that. Having a little baby in New York, people do it, but I don't think we would have liked that. I wouldn't think.
No,
No.
it sounds.
All right, Sandy,
Especially
thanks.
a hyper
Maybe you show
kid.
up for the whole show next time.
I'll set my clock.
All right, we'll talk to you later. That's going to
Thank
do
you.
it.
Have fun.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
All right, we've got a couple things. We got our Jack's giveaway post.
Ooh, good, excellent.
I don't think we ever even talked about that we're doing it again. You just kind of like did it. I
Oh.
didn't even know it.
Oh, I thought it was going on for a while.
Yeah, we are.
Okay.
It's just we didn't say anything. You just kind of like made the post. But
Yeah.
yes, Tom Bernard OG. Go check it out. Look for the pinned post. Make a comment under there, and you're entered into the drawing.
By the way, I should mention to Billy, who's a longtime friend. I've known Billy for 40 years, whatever, something like that. Well, it's got to be 40 years now, or just short of it. But people love this contest. Jax is putting it on, Billy's idea, and people just love it, and we're glad that you love it because it's a great place. And we are going to get Fawn and Sage over there, and probably Ethan, to fish in the trout stream in the restaurant. There's a stream right behind the restaurant, but it's covered, and you can get your own fish out of the creek.
Yeah, you catch your own fish.
What
and
do you
then
think?
They cook it for you, and then you eat
You
it.
like it?
Did somebody
loves
steal
fish.
free
Fawn will love
drinks?
What?
Did somebody take some of these free drinks from the
I hope not.
Not
from
me.
Scalvin? I thought we had 7.
We
There's
had at-
only 4 here.
We had at least 7.
Well, who would have taken them?
I haven't.
We had a comedian here. Oh, I'm just kidding.
One of those Friday
Are
Are you
comedians.
kidding me?
There's got to be somewhere. Nobody would take the free
Oh,
drinks.
Mom
would
just
they?
broke her camera.
Did the kids see it?
Oh, did I?
Take
That's
them?
fine. We're
Did you take
almost
these?
done anyway.
No, but I'll
No.
No,
No,
you
no,
don't get
you
free
can't.
That
alcohol
won't work
drinks.
for
Well,
ya.
that just reeks if somebody took them.
Somebody stole them?
Shouldn't have let them stay.
All right. Well, we'll
Well,
have
now
to
we.
get-
I'm next. As soon as I figure
Fawn
out.
says she knows who did it.
It is Bob Bob.
I did not.
It was Jude.
Jude.
No,
Jude.
Jude probably
Who does
did
like
it.
a free drink.
Jude
Well, that
probably did
really
it.
sucks. But as soon as I figure out how to get on your Facebook page, I'm going to
His
do some
Facebook page
sort
is basically dead, is the thing, isn't it?
I don't go on Facebook. I go
Yeah.
on X.
Well, the podcast Facebook page then.
That would work.
Okay, we'll figure something out. I'm gonna give, I guess now 4 free drinks.
They must be around here
Oh,
somewhere.
I don't know.
I don't know where they'd be.
I
We'll
don't
look
know.
for 'em.
That really sucks.
How close is Scalvin to Jax?
It's pretty
Not-
close.
I was gonna say they're
Really?
pretty close.
To Jax?
Well, it's just Brooklyn Park, and
Yeah.
that's northeast Minneapolis. It's not that far.
Why don't
Well, I
we do
guess-
this?
I guess not.
As long as everybody, well, half of the parents are here anyway. When can we get the family together and everybody in the family together with the 4 kids and all that and go to Jack's for dinner?
We will do that soon.
We got to do it because
off
I
mic.
love Jack's. Do it off mic.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
That's right.
He's
How
ready to
about
go
tonight?
fishing right now.
For Sage's birthday. Yeah.
That's a good idea.
I was going to pretend to not know when it was, so I went, oh, I forgot it
I'm
was
leaving.
your birthday. All right, we got to
Okay.
go. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.